Before I even get into this video, I'd like to extend my humblest apologies for bitching about the sound of a car driving by. Last time I have not read any of your comments yet, but I do apologize for the person who would have, and people who have crappy cars, they're just trying to make a living, and I'm just sitting here bitching on my balcony doing absolutely nothing. Anyways, I'd like to extend my humblest apologies to that. Sometimes it really hurts when you hear a car that needs attention. In this case, that was not a bad engine. It was just somebody pressing the pedal to the metal on a gear that was too low. And I'm sorry, that's just my love for mechanics and technology. I love machines. Good morning. Today is Anna's birthday. All the shops are closed. I couldn't get her anything worth anything from there. But on the other hand, she seems more to be of a spiritual kind of person without... Could you have a shittier engine? Jesus! I can't believe that was a car. Seeing as she's a spiritual person that does not like too much material stuff and stuff hanging around, I decided to make her something instead. While all the shops are closed, I couldn't really find proper material, so I bought whatever I could and I made her this ornament. Back in early 40s, Finland, like I said, had many gulags. We're not allowed to call them that, but that's what they were. Workers' camps, right. Where Soviet prisoners were placed under gruesome conditions because the country still needed to keep going, keep the crops growing, the farms going, the crops growing, feed the army, and so on. Some of these guys in these prisons were selected to come work at these places. They were entrusted to work at these places, and being offered the chance to come and work, live a normal life, eat at the table of, eat normal food, have a place to sleep. Actually, they were returned back to camp, or back to the gulags for the night, but that was a heaven sent. So many of them did not fudge that up. They were picked out, and then the most wonderful and yet the most heartbreaking thing happened. They became friends with the people at the farms. The Finnish people owning the farms, they realized that these are not those big, smelly, ugly Russian people. They are just people like you and me. They have children and they have a wife at home, and we have things in common. They weren't allowed to sit at the tables of the main family, but yet Finns are not royalist. It is against our nature, I suppose, especially at that time, to not invite a sort of a guest, which is a worker but still a guest somehow. So they were eating at the head table, they were mingling with people, and so on and so forth. What I'm getting at here was that many of these people, they became involved, they became friends with Finns, they became lovers, even husbands, because some of them even got married to somebody, fathers, some of them had babies, and then sadly enough the war ended and they were sent back. This handsome fellow was a prisoner of war, and he survived the gulags in Finland and he survived the gulags in Russia. And when he died, there was a picture found on him that he had kept all these years. The picture was of a woman and a child from Finland. You see, the child is not malnourished, it's quite fat and healthy looking, with nice clothes. She even has a ring on her finger. He had told his children that this was their brother in Finland. To this day, no one knows who this woman or this child is. Sadly, at the end of the war, these prisoners friends, brothers, fathers, lovers, husbands, best friends were sent back to the USSR because that's what Stalin demanded. And anyways, they were never seen or heard from again, most of them. During this time, these gulags were often visited as like a zoo by kids and other people, of course, who are very curious to see what these people, these enemies look like. What do they look like? And these Slavics were, because Slavics are really child-friendly, were super happy to see children. Many of them sang for the kids, and they made little toys and trinkets for these kids on their little free time out of stuff that they found. Sometimes they even made for grown-ups to trade for cigarettes and so on. But they made little trinkets for kids out of what they could find, thrifty. And so I just thought it was quite appropriate that today the tables are turned and the Finn is making the trinket to the Slav out of stuff that she can find. I was looking for any kind of cord, and nobody would sell it. It was very difficult to find shoelaces. I found shoelaces for, rainbow-colored shoelaces and shoelaces with Jolly Rogers on them and so on. Anyway, I found something at last that I could use, and so I got to work. Since none of those jewelry making stores are open, I decided to make the pendant out of avocado stone. I split it into two and I painted the evil eye on with nail polish. Now, the evil eye doesn't symbolize protection in itself. It is a symbol of something that will absorb negative energy. So it's not going to help you for, bad juju in general. But people, sometimes we have bad thoughts, we have negative energy. Sometimes we are envious. We don't necessarily want to harm somebody else, but we have that negative energy that we transcend to the other, that we flash over to the other person, and the evil eye is supposed to absorb that and protect you from it. So seeing as she's not very big on jewelry either, an ornament that you hang up somewhere, which is not too big, should be okay. And it turns out that her favorite color, it seems, is purple, or at least she likes purple a lot. Right, so today is the Tuesday, the first day after the very, very long curfew of many, many hours. Today was a nice day. It was colder, but still a nice day. And from today, our curfew stretches, or actually our free time stretches with 1 hour. So our curfew doesn't start until 6 o'clock, until 5 o'clock in the morning. From 6 o'clock onwards until 1 o'clock, apparently elderly people over the age of 65 can finally go out. And that is wonderful news. I hope you enjoy the parks. There is still sunshine and sunlight and warmth, and everything is in bloom. So I think elderly people will love it, especially here in Belgrade.